Oh, you clean up nice.
Yeah. I'm still wearing shorts.
Okay, we won't, no need to, tip the camera that way.
You're not even going to believe this text I just got.
Tell me about it.
Can you see this?
Yeah. Brett is amazing. Thank you so much for getting me in touch with him. Is that kind of what you're talking about this morning about, hey, let so-and-so know that?
Yeah. So this agent that sent me the first deal on Thursday, got that guy pre-approved Friday morning, sends me another guy last night, text the guy that in a three-way text, including he and I together, say, hey, this is Brett, meet so-and-so. He's like family to me. This Brett's one of my top lenders, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. And then when I'm working on this guy right now. And so one of the last things I said was, I said, hold on. Hey, make sure you thank Cody for introducing us. My business depends on referral partners knowing that I go above and beyond for the people they entrust to me. Will you do that for me? Absolutely. And then as I'm walking in here, I get the text from Cody with a screenshot of it. Like,
Brett, I can see a lot of people struggling with what they would call shameless promotion, but what I think you've done is really important, for your success and for helping solidify that relationship. Can you talk a little bit about how you overcome, I think, a mental block other people would have with it being, shameless to say to someone, hey, let my partner know how I'm doing?
Well, I think number one, it gives immediate social proof. And so what I've done is instead of just saying, hey, go tell them I did a good job, I tell them why I want them to know I did a good job. I want them to know that my business depends on referrals, planting the seed, therefore, in their head that if they refer somebody to me, I'm going to make sure that I do such a great job that they get told thank you again and solidify that relationship and make sure they're proud to have referred me the first time. That's my philosophy on it.
And this realtor you're now working with, by chance, is this someone that you met as a result of automating your prospecting?
Yes, it is.
And just for those of you here joining me, glad to have you. Hope you can hear us okay. We're going to talk about how to get referrals from realtors in 6 weeks. And we're going to Brett's going to specifically focus about how automated prospecting has really helped him. He's already kind of touched on some post results from that. But hey, if you happen to be a loan officer and you're struggling with realtors, you're trying to find a way to get not just more referrals, but get them faster, jump over to 6weekreferrals.com and download my free report. Brett, can you talk about before you automated prospecting, what was it like having to prospect realtors?
Well, it's a lot of I can't talk to you directly. We can't let you come in our office because we have a relationship, with our broker that has a relationship with an interoffice contract. If it's a Centra 21 with the Cardinal Financial, whatever, they all kind of had their beds made here with people. So that was kind of out. I was doing some marketing where I would just basically have one agent that I kind of knew in there and I would just break in. I'm kind of in a new market for me. So my old relationships really weren't doing any good when I'm trying to get face to face. So what the automated marketing did was it kind of opened up, my circle or my radius that I can really cover, 100 invites at a time. And once I get them to lean into the automation and say, yeah, I'd be interested, give me a call. I set it up. I said, well, here's a couple of times, pick one. And we sit down and talk. I tease them with some of the things that we can do. And then I immediately say, look, some of the areas that you need help with are better, served if we sit down and have coffee. How about I buy you a cup of coffee, later this week, Monday, whatever. And let's kind of go over a little more broad brush approach to some of the other bottlenecks that you're having. So that's what we did. And I do it over and over. I probably had 25, face-to-face meetings in the past 3 months. I could have a lot more if I pressed it, but I can physically only go so far. I've done a couple of Zoom meetings. for those that are a little, hard to get to, or a little, it's a little bit out of our radius.
How does that compare to prior to automating your prospecting? Meeting with 25 realtors in 3 months, for a lot of loan officers, that's like a year's worth of meetings. How many meetings would you typically do before automating prospecting?
Oh, if maybe, one a week, something like that. If time were spent, but I spent most of my time trying to figure out how to attract more agents by just asking other agents that I worked with to give me some referrals. But it doesn't quite work the same when you don't have value to bring. And I guess the holistic approach to the Jetmatic and how we're giving things of value to them to help grow their business, it's really made all the difference. It's let me have my shoulders back and have a little more confidence, and knowing that I have plenty of at-bats coming up. If I don't get this one, I really don't care. I'll move on to the next one. Or I'll play games with them when they say, well, send me what you have. Or my broker says no. I'm like, says no to what? What are you saying no to?
It is fun.
Business for, about 4 months. You can't possibly have all the business you ever wanted. So what are you even saying no to? And I play games with them, and they'll be like, yeah, we do need to talk.
What's so crazy is, and I've actually known you for a while, to see your confidence skyrocket as much as it has, to have that kind of fun, with realtors, compared to where a lot of loan officers are. And again, by the way, if you're feeling like a tortoise and you want to be a rabbit in terms of, getting the right relationships with realtors, go over to 6weekreferrals.com and grab that, free report. Brett, you mentioned, about 25 meetings or just in the past, 3 months. But if I heard you right, prior to this, for you just to get a meeting, you had to have a meeting to get to a meeting of a realtor who was even open to talking to you. Where here, you've condensed that whole step, right? You're pretty much in the first meeting with realtors who are open-minded and interested at least in wanting to meet with you. Would that be a fair assessment? So out of 25 meetings, what's that meant to you? How many relationships would you say you have at this point that you would consider, a partner, a realtor that you're working with?
Probably, I'd say 25 out of 25. Once I've sat down with them and say, here's what I can do for you in some various form or fashion. We are talking about deals. Maybe I don't have 5 deals from or anything yet, but they're running scenarios by me when they get some of those harder to do ones. And some of them are newer. And so I think some of the newer ones have a little bit more time on their hands to meet. They're a little bit more open because they know they don't have it all figured out yet. And so I think that's part of the fun for me, is helping some of these, 5 years and newer agents take it to the next level. And that's what they seem to be responding to it really well.
And we focus on the things that you can control. And you've heard me talk about this before, because a lot of loan officers get wrapped up in, well, how many closings do you have? Closings come, and it's kind of like the final piece of the puzzle. Marketing is a puzzle, and you're, over this past 90 days, you've been putting the pieces together. And if I'm not mistaken, you're up to almost a referral a day, right?
Yeah, for the past 2 weeks. In fact, since we last talked I guess we talked on Friday last. Since then, I've had 5 referrals in the last 48 to 72 hours. So even on the weekends, it's just boom, boom,
yeah.
boom. It's keep it on coming.
And that's what I think helps support. We underestimate how much activity we really need to get the ball rolling, just in terms of being able to find realtors that will even entertain the idea of working together, let alone start referring you business. And so hopefully what people are seeing is, okay, maybe I'm not getting as much effort into this as I need to in terms of numbers or the amount of activity I need. And if I automate my prospecting, that can really be a springboard to making that happen faster and it being more realistic, with that. What's probably been the biggest unexpected benefit from all this about automating your prospecting?
I think it's just the sheer number of at-bats that you get with agents, and you can use those at-bats to learn from them. So there's things that, as I go out and consult with the agents that I am meeting with and finding out what their pinch points are, I am also hearing some things that they're doing and learning from them as to what they're doing well, and can add that to the toolbox that I have. If it's a lead source or a CRM that they're using, or a, fill in the blank, whatever marketing widget they have, I write it down just as I'm making notes, talking to them, and I'm going to research it, because there may be something that they're doing that their broker's teaching them that, I'd like to know, and I'd like to be able to, to bring to the other agents that I'm talking to.
I like how you coined that phrase, at bats. Prior, you might have a meeting a week, and if that meeting didn't go real well, morally, we're down on ourselves and can really take a toll. But because you're getting so many at bats so much faster, you don't have as much time to think about that previous experience if it didn't go well, so you can kind of stay on your game. Would that be kind of accurate?
Absolutely. And there's times where I've set up, 5 meetings back to back in a Starbucks, and one of them canceled. And if I had one meeting and I, let's say drove 30 minutes where I got to go to meet everybody, and that canceled, that would ruin my day. I had one cancel, something unforeseen, but guess what? I had 4 other ones. I needed a break anyway. I need to go to the restroom. I had them literally passing each other, coming and going at Starbucks.
What would be the best advice you could share with your peers, other loan officers who haven't automated their prospecting yet, or just advice about working with realtors in general?
I think the key is just to don't be so intimidated into thinking that they have it all figured out, because there's not one of them that doesn't need more business. I don't care what the 4-month guy in the business says. He doesn't have all the processes down. And neither do these guys. Most of them are actually making a living on accident. They have no intentional, methodology behind their traffic, conversion, follow-up, post follow-up. They can't even answer simple questions about where they're getting their business. So you kind of flip the seesaw in the balance of power when you sit in front of them. You start asking questions that pertain to how they're getting their business and how they can grow, and what do they have a brand? What is their niche? How much? What's their conversion? What's their traffic? Most of them just go, I don't know. This girl last week told me several times. I said, what do you like? What is your niche? Do you have a brand? I know I need to do that, but I don't know what that looks like. And I said,
how long had she already been a realtor?
I was about to tell you. I said, you're pretty new, right? 4 or 6 months. I already knew the answer. She said, no, 3 years I've been doing this. I'm like, I basically just kind of dropped my pen on I'm like, 3 years. I said, you are very lucky to find me when you did, because you've already exceeded the average, lifespan of a realtor. And with no plan, your days are kind of numbered. She goes, I know, I'm living with 2 people in an apartment, eating top ramen, and, I'm ready to get my feet on a patio. And, I kind of identified what her why is with her there, and why she should, be dedicated to do these things every day. I told her to pin it up on her vanity, even if she shares it with 2 other people, and let's get you there. And so it's been eye-opening, because just talking to her, you'd be intimidated because you think she's got it all going on. And I'm telling you, when the curtain's lifted and you look behind that curtain, they don't. There's been one person I've got over 2,000 in my list, one person that I've talked to that I wasn't sure I could really help her, because she had her metrics down. She had everything going on, and I just still invite her to the training each week. But the chances are pretty slim that I'm going to get her because she must have, I think she has a marketing degree, so she has all the funnels covered. But that's
I wouldn't
okay.
be surprised though, because you're, again, back to this shameless promoting. You're so good at that she will at some point learn about your expertise as a loan officer, because of the social proof. You start pushing from there. And, I think you're hitting on another valuable thing that a lot of loan officers underestimate, and that's the importance of a list. You mentioned the word the number 2,000. So you're up to over 2,000 realtors on a list, right, that you're marketing to. So
Correct.
when you start getting into these kinds of numbers, it's realistic that you can have things happen and happen, quicker for you. Brett, always love having you on and having a chance to chat. You're a very smart guy. I learned so much from you. And for, again, those of you that are just fed up with the way things have been going with real estate agents, we don't have all the answers, but we certainly got enough that can really turn around just the way you feel about agents and helping you to have fun again in your business. Is hopefully you can see Brett exude just as he has shared his experiences here together. So Brett, thanks again for joining me. Love what you're doing. Can't wait a few more months from now, hearing the other things you tweak and add to this and keep building on this momentum that you've really started for yourself.
I owe a lot of the credit to you, man. And in the whole process, I decided to work with you again after the last campaign we did was successful for me. And I just want to thank you for reaching out and making yourself available. There's a lot of places that, say they're available for support. And these guys, I mean, you and Scotty and Doug, those guys, you all mean it. I mean, I can reach you. You're approachable. If I need to talk to you, if I have an idea and want to run it by you, you'll help me. And that's what's great about this whole, circumstance. Thank you so much.